Hi, my name is Cameron Ford. I'm a field technologist with Omnissa. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through how to get started with intelligence. This is part of a multi-part series. In this particular video, we're going to be discussing how to find the data. So this is critically important when you're looking at building dashboards, building reports, how to manipulate and edit widgets. All of those topics will be covered, but first we're going to start with where to find the data. So first we need to discuss what types of data is available within Intelligence for Horizon. So if we take a look at data in the Horizon Operations dashboard, we'll see there's information regarding session information, agent data, logon time information. We also see data related to UAGs, connection server health, CPU utilization for the UAGs and connection servers. So this is what we consider core Horizon data. There's also additional data around pool information. So based off the sessions that are logged in, you'll see information about what types of sessions or which users are logged into which pools, what's the highest average login time by pool. All of that data is captured in the core Horizon tables. And we'll go into exactly how to get to that in just a minute. Now, outside of the high-level infrastructure data, we also have specific session-related data. So if I click in here, we'll see information about the users, when the data came in, again, what pool they were connected to, session status. We also see data around virtual machine-related data. So things like CPU, processor, memory, all of that is coming into the typical Horizon table, and this information will be accessible. Beyond VM level data, we'll also see information regarding protocol connectivity. If the user is using Wi-Fi, we'll have data around client Wi-Fi signal strength. We'll also see data regarding logon time metrics and client-related data such as client type, client name, and IP address. So again, a lot of data is stored in this Horizon table. If you look at some of the provided dashboards, a lot of times you will actually see the path to where the data is located. So Horizon session, that's again a key to let us know where this data is being pulled from. And again, this will be a common theme into, when you're starting to build your own widgets and building your own reports, this will be key to figuring out, okay, where exactly is the data that I'm looking for? Now, outside of core Horizon data, we also get into data regarding application-related metrics. So if you're looking for application experience scoring, so not just raw data, but actually doing scoring on the application data, that's going to be in a completely different table. So if we click in view, we'll see that this particular data is coming from the Intelligence Horizon Desktop App Experience Scoring table. So again, this is basically my map to understanding where is this data coming from. Going back to the dashboard, we'll see there's information regarding app utilization trending, app launches by user. All of this data is accessible. So when we're talking about application usage, typically we're talking about how much resources is an application consuming. So this will be around CPU and memory. Here again, you can see additional examples of widgets that are pulling this data. Here we can see a list of applications that are using greater than 30% CPU utilization. That data again is going to be stored in the exact same table, Intelligence Horizon Desktop App Experience. So again, just kind of think about the different classifications of data. You have your core Horizon data, then you have your intelligence add-on data, and most of the add-on data is going to be related to application performance, application utilization. So again, if we look at the bottom here, we'll see there's tables related to app launches by user. And if I click on this table, we'll see that this is actually in a different table. So again, this particular data, when we're getting into overall app utilization, tracking events for app launches, that type of data is coming under the Employee Experience App for Horizon table. So again, these are just really good examples for tables where you're going to have useful information and how to go about finding that data. Now, outside of application data, we also have information for scoring the Horizon sessions themselves. So in the beginning, we talked about Horizon session data. That data was related to the raw data coming in. So it's just the feed of data that's streaming into intelligence every time. This particular table and this type of data is getting into session scoring. So analyzing the sessions as they've happened over time and figuring out how many of them were good, bad, neutral. That way you can just see how you can trend the overall sessions throughout your environment over time. Now, this environment is purely demo data, so you're not going to get a whole lot of or high-level session counts within here, but again, just an example of what type of data is coming into these particular dashboards. So if I click on View on this widget, again, this is going to show me where this data is coming from. So this is coming from the intelligence table, that's the primary table, and then the subtable under there is going to be the Horizon session experience scoring. And if we look at it here, again, this is where we get into things like scoring login durations, client Wi-Fi, client connectivity, protocol, CPU consumption. So this is not raw data. This is data that has been analyzed in chunks of time, basically giving you the 95th percentile score of how much CPU or memory that the particular session had to use, as well as overall client connectivity. So again, this is data that has been processed and analyzed. Okay, so a couple ways to get to this data. So you do have the Data Explorer. So if you're using Data Explorer, you can select a data source. This is giving you a sense for where the tables are. So you'll see there is a lot of various tables in here. Some of them are related to various intelligence services. Now, the ones that we're primarily focused on is the Horizon table, the intelligence table, and employee experience. That's primarily where most of your data is coming from. So if I click on Horizon, you'll see that I have a session table. This is basically the raw data table. So when you're creating widgets using this table, you're basically performing queries of all the raw data that's coming in for every single session. And again, primarily what that's going to be used for is just doing calculations for like how many sessions had high CPU, how many sessions had high memory or disk latency or poor connectivity. All of that data is primarily coming from this table. Now, in terms of infrastructure, things like connection servers and UAGs, again, those are going to be contained in these various tables up here. So going back to my dashboard, let's give you an example of how we can view this data and how we can build these widgets. So again, looking at the construction of any of these tables will give you a sense for how do I go about building these widgets. And we're not going to fully do that just yet, but again, I want to show you where this data is coming from. So if I go to this table and I click Edit, again, this is the primary table that the data is being stored. So it's under Horizon, then UAG appliance information. Well, what type of information is in there? So here we have the appliance name, its health status. Again, this is telling you the health of the APIs and the services that are running. You get connection count, CPU utilization, memory usage, et cetera, et cetera. So again, that's where that data is stored. And similarly for connection server level data, so let this table load. And again, if I wanted to looking at connection server CPU data, this is going to be under the, again, the core Horizon table. It's going to be under connection server statistics. And then here you'll see the available data to you. So the connection server name, how many sessions are running, user counts, CPU and memory. Those are the primary data points that are coming in from there. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the core Horizon information, but just to show you an example of, let's say like pool logon time information. So this is actually extracted from the session data. So here we can see that this is coming from Horizon session. And then what we're doing is we're looking at all of the users coming into Horizon and which pools they're logged into. So again, just as a sample of how do we build this table, we basically, when we built this widget, we told it to look in the main Horizon table. We then picked the session subtable. And then here we're looking at the average login duration for all the sessions coming in. Our grouping, however, is where we pull it in by pool name. So pool name will basically take all of the data that we're querying, which is the average login times, and then we're grouping them by pool, which effectively gives us the average login time by pool. So again, primarily, all of this data is going to be in your Horizon session table. And then in terms of getting the answer and translated into which pool has the highest average login time, that's where we use the grouping by method. All right. So that basically sums up the primary tables that we're going to be getting the data from, again, like going back to Data Explorer, most of it's going to be Horizon. This is going to be one of your key tables. You have lots of subtables in here, so there's, again, various topics depending on what type of information that you're trying to get to. And again, we're going to do a separate video showing examples of that. You do have some data under employee experience, and usually it's really just these three tables, so user actions, app performance, apps. And that, again, that was shown in the application performance dashboard. And then outside of that, we do have the intelligence table. So again, in intelligence, this is where we're going to have a lot of the calculated session data. So when you're looking at connection server experience scoring, organization experience scoring, session experience scoring, all that's going to be in the intelligence table. So that's all for this particular video. There will be a follow-up video linked into this particular post. And that next video will be focused on how do we start using this data, how do we access these tables to build reports.